booties for black girl nerds.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jeandra from Black Girl Nerds. Thank you so much for
Hi.
your time. It is extremely my pleasure to talk to you and your performance on The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
With your beautiful, vibrant personality, a lot of the contestants I've talked to, discuss the anonymity and being able to be bigger than they normally would be because they have that mask concealing who they are. As someone who's already such a vibrant person and wonderful out loud personality, how did the concealment work for you performing in that method?
Well, there was a lot of room in that big piece of corn. So I could sing, and it wasn't heavy, so I could move around, even though I got lost a little bit because you can only see out of that, mouthpiece. So you're like, where am I? I hit my marks during rehearsal, and I think when I filmed it, I was a little diagonal. I was a little off, but vocally it was okay. It's kind of because you're covered. You're a little less horrified, but I was horrified. I was anxious. I had to talk myself down before I went out and finally sang it. But yeah, it was because people don't know that I can sing, which is probably the reason why I did the show. I like to sing. I do. So yeah, but it has being covered has its pros and cons because they can't see you, but eventually they're going to.
Mhm.
They're
You
going to
did a
see who you
wonderful
are.
job. You did a
Thank you.
wonderful job. I'm a huge fan of Andrew Lloyd Webber. I was in the theater in high school, and the way you were getting down with Jesus Christ Superstar. It was a very interesting song choice. The safe choices are always the Cats and the Les Mises and
Oh.
all of those. Why that song choice for you? Because it
Well,
was great.
my husband, his name is Jerry Dixon. He's a Broadway actor and singer and a director and artistic director of theaters. And he is, he picked that song. He was like, do Heaven on Your Minds. I wanted something from Jesus Christ Superstar or Evita. Those are my two favorites. So we played it at the piano at home because we live in New York, and it was a very short notice. So we played it, fit right in my voice. He was like, you should sing this. So he made rehearsal tracks to me. Without him, I would have freaked out because it was a short notice. I had to, I flew out to LA like a week and a half later, maybe, I don't know. And, I wanted to have that song down. And then, cocky me, I was planning on the rest of it. I was like, well, what's next? And we were doing arrangements with Miguel, the musical director for who's so brilliant for Masked Singer, and working with the vocal arranger. So but that song is the opening number. Heaven on Your Minds is Heaven on Their Minds is the opening number for Jesus Christ Superstar, the Judas sings, and I just love it. It's a great choice, and it's a very, Jesus Christ Superstar, the title song is probably the most famous one, and I Don't Know How to Love Him, which Yvonne Elliman made a big hit for on pop radio. But people know that song, Heaven on Their Minds, even if they don't know the title. They know, oh, I know that song.
Right. You can
But
hear
so
it
I love doing it. It was a great tune. It's exciting. It's a thrilling song.
I
Thrilling
wish I
song.
could
It's like
have
a roller coaster.
I wish I could have had a GoPro inside of the corn because you were given, the whole performance was giving. It was drama, it was vocal range, it was movement across the stage. When you practiced it, do you practice in your costume or do you need a full run through?
Once you practice out of your costume at one point, covered, but and then you practice in your costume. Yeah, you do both. And then you practice in your hotel room. And you practice in New York before you get out there. You just like, you got to get it down. You have to, it's scary. It was terrifying, but it was really a thrill. I would do it again if I had to.
What's the fine line? Because performing, just looking at yourself as you normally would is one way, and then putting this big old thing. So how do you find the fine line between not too much, too big, too little? Am I doing it to the same level?
It's a singing competition, so you got to make sure you vocally you're in check and you've got the song down. But movement wise, you do what you can. It wasn't. I had my legs and I had my arms, so and you can tilt that piece of corn. So that's how you kind of work it, and you try to make your personality come through the costume. It's hard, it really is, but you do the best you can. As long as I didn't fall off the stage, or roll around in a stick of butter, I'm good.
And lastly, just to start to wrap it up, I've talked to the other contestants about how they were apprehensive and also described the experience as kind of terrifying, but they're really glad they did it. If someone was on the fence, another colleague of yours or someone like, I don't know if I should do the Masked Singer, how would you convince them to do it?
Well, if they could sing, I'd be like, you got to do it. If they can't sing, I'd be like, do you feel like I'd be like, it's up to you. But I mean, look, if you can't sing, you got nothing to lose. It's fun. You go out, there's plenty of non-singers that have done the show too and have done well and have a good time. So it's all on your attitude about it and how you feel going into it. I mean, but I would say do it. From top to bottom, the staff, musical director Miguel and Allison, the vocal coach, and Michelle, who produced me, and it was an amazing experience. You're really taken care of. They give you everything you need to survive it and to succeed.
You're wonderful. And lastly, we know that you just started going back to film or getting ready to go back to filming a little show filming on HBO, show people might know. So any after reflecting on the first season, there was tragedy and just coming together as a cast to continue on. How was reporting back for a second season?
It was, it was a sigh of relief because we get to see everybody for all our friends again and work together again and start this new adventure again. It's a thrill. I'm so lucky and so happy, and I love doing it. I really do. And the writers and Michael Patrick King, they just know how to write this thing, and they write me some of the funniest, greatest stuff I've ever gotten to speak from beginning to end. So I just love working with the girls and the new girls, Sarita and Karen Pittman and Nicole Ari Parker. I mean, and Sada. I mean, it's great. It's a great crew of people, and I'm having the time of my life. I'm very thrilled.
They're giving you good stuff, but you're the formidable vessel. It only works when the two can work together. So we enjoy you so much on that. And I'm glad you did the Masked Singer. You were phenomenal. And thank you for your time.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.